Yeah, right, like a big shot. It's been a while I made a video, but today I have a very interesting video. Today I'm going to talk about an accident that actually was involved in. So stick around so you get to know what happened. But before I go into the accident, for the last 2 3 months I've been a company team driver. So as a company team driver, this is what you do. You ride with someone, literally. Okay, so this whole truck, if you've seen my previous video when I was showing you the inside of the truck, so it's two guys in the truck. You share this space, you share the front, you share the back. So let's put it this way: the back there is your home, the front here is your workplace. So when you're done with your shift, you move to the back and sleep. And we have a curtain, this one. So you move it, you're closed off. So you sleep, you have your time, you can do anything you want there, sleep, watch your you on your laptop. We don't have a TV yet. We didn't have a TV yet. You're at home. If you're in the front here, you are working for about 10 hours. Yeah, 10, 11 hours. You're in the front here. So that's what team driving is. So what happens is that I'm allowed to drive 11 hours, but sometimes we'll drive like 10, 10 and a half, 9, depending on the situation, the traffic jam, when the load is ready and all that. So, but you have 14 workers, 14 hours you can work. But anyway, so we would drive. After that, we switch up. We do pre-trip, post-trip, and then you go in the back, he comes in the front, then he starts working. And the cycle repeats itself. So technically this truck, not this one, but the one I was using before, you never stop moving. You're always moving, okay? The only time you stop is when you have a reset. That's a 24, and it only stops for only 24 hours, okay? So you park somewhere, because your time is out, the 70 hours is out, so you have to stop and do a reset. That's when everyone is, not moving. So someone asked me actually, what happens when you're both not driving? There is only one bed. No. So in team drivers trucks, there's always two beds. There's the lower one and the upper one. So one of you sleeps up and the other sleeps down. That's when you're resting 24 hours. Other than that, when I'm driving, he's sleeping. When he's sleeping, I'm driving. So you're always on the move. But now let's get into the team driving. Team driving was good in the sense that you're always moving. You're doing kind of more miles. You don't rest. I don't think you rest that much enough. But also, you're sharing space with someone else. That's one thing. So if you're not the kind of person who wants to have someone in your vicinity the whole time, team driving is not your thing. Hygiene, showers, blah blah blah. If you have someone who doesn't want to shower, it's not going to be the best alternative for you. If you're that kind of person who likes to keep hygiene, shower on time, blah blah blah, no, it won't. So it's also very important who you're with. If you have a co-driver who is not so hygienic, team driving is not the thing. But anyway, so in about 3 months now, I've had 3 co-drivers. I was gonna go for the 4th, but I was like, no, that's enough. So now I'm gonna tell you why I've had 3 co-drivers in 3 months and the accident at the end. So I had the first guy I drove with. He was brand new to the industry. He was an older guy. He had problems with the tablet, with the digital stuff, how to get the load, blah blah blah. And he had a hard time really, doing things, and he would take a lot of time. Then I had another guy who couldn't speak English. He could speak English, but he thought he knew more than actually what it was. Like, he would say, yeah, I get what you're saying, but literally he would never get what I'm saying, to the extent that I reached a point and I had to always get my phone, Google Translate, to his language, show him like what I'm saying to understand, because I realized that he would say, yeah, I get what you're saying, but he wasn't really getting what I'm saying. So that guy wasn't good. He wasn't good with the language, and he had a hard time. So we would spend a lot of time in a place because he's trying to figure out things, and I would never sleep. Why? Because when he gets stuck, he wakes you up like, hey, Alan, how do you do this? Blah blah. I can't find this. So you can't get your 10 hours like straight. And I will really sleep. Like I really sleep all my 10 hours, maybe 9 max, but I get my good sleep. Even the first guy, I would never sleep some days because he had the same problem with the tablet. So he would wake you up, you're sleeping, hey Alan, I cannot find this, blah blah. So I got the third guy. The third guy, young guy, was a former Marine, he's a veteran. He was good with everything, the tablet. He was the perfect co-driver. But guess what? He was going to join the police, and so I was supposed to drive with him 2 weeks, and then he would go into the police academy or whatever it is. But guess what? So he was supposed to do a sleep test. He didn't fail, but the first 2 results weren't showing anything. They couldn't see anything. Like they couldn't get results through. I don't know if he was doing it the wrong way. So he had to do a third test. And guess what? The third test, he was supposed to do it from home. But do you know when that information came in? We was in Texas, and he's from California. And that means he had to come back to California. And they told him, you're going to be out of service tomorrow night, so you cannot drive, and you'll be suspended for 5 days. So we had to rush from Texas to Arizona all the way to California back to drop him off. So in that situation, I'm going to make another video probably about my transition to the whole transition thing. But this video is about the accident. But check out the next video when I talk about my transition to being a solo driver. So the accident. So the first guy I drove with, 3 instances happened with him. And why I felt like, okay, we need to change. So the first time imagine you're sleeping, someone is driving a truck, a semi-truck, and you don't know what is happening. And you wake up and he's literally driving up someone's driveway. It was that time of the winter, ice everywhere, like someone driving up someone's like driveway, into their driveway. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, sorry, he wakes me up. You can tell something is wrong. So I come in the front, I'm like, what's happening? All I see is the guy is driving up, and then he gets stuck between trees because it was hard to maneuver. And the truck, it was, almost like tripping over. So we had to be towed from there all the way back to the main road. That was the first instance. The second instance, we were going to a FedEx pickup, and he made the wrong turn, and he got stuck in the snow, ice as well. We got towed again. That was the second time. So the third time, we were heading back to California, and he was the night driver, I was the day driver. So what happens is that I'm sleeping and I hear like, oh shit. So what had happened, what they say happened, because he was saying something, the other driver was saying something. So the side mirror, all the side mirror went down. Okay, so they were going past each other, trucks, and then boom. Okay, so I woke up and we parked by the side and like, what happened? And he was like, this guy came into my lane. The good thing is, the other driver, he was a FedEx driver, he stopped somewhere along the way, and he came and he was like, hey, what are you doing? Are you sleeping? He was like, what do you mean? So it was more of like, you did this, no, it was this, it was, it was like kind of like what against what kind of thing. Everyone was saying you was in the wrong, I was in the wrong, you came into my lane, I came into your lane. Okay, so that was that was an accident, not a very big accident, but it was an accident because it was recorded as an accident. And from that day, I told my driver team leader, I need to get a new guy because there's no way I'm going to be sleeping and someone is trying to crash their truck. So that is how the accident happened. Okay, so after that, we came back to California. I got a new guy, the guy who didn't speak English, you know, and we got back on the road for another 3 weeks. And now, if you check out the next video, I'm gonna tell you about the second guy and how we parted ways, to the third guy and how I moved into solo driving. Okay, so make sure to check out the continuation. Okay, and don't forget to ride like a